Hey guys, welcome back to Pride Martial Arts. Just going to be going over a question that I get asked by a lot of my students. When can I start sparring? A lot of my students, that's one of their first questions. When can I start sparring once they start training, And there's really no time frame. You could always give someone a rough estimate, a month, 2 months, 3 months, a time frame for them. But I usually, depending on the individual, give them a straight answer as to how fast they're learning, how often they're in the gym with me. Some students are 1 day a week with me, and then they have their membership. They come in whenever they want. And some students are 2-3 days a week with me, So depending on the pace that you're learning at, I always tell them, you've already learned, all the punches. You learned all the blocks. You haven't done any drills yet. So first you got to do some drills with another partner as well, And we take it as steps, So once you learn all the punches, all the blocks, and once you could defend, let's say a jab, 3 different ways, and then apply it in drills with a partner where he throws the jab at you, you block the jab, then you throw the jab at him, he blocks the jab, and your intent is to hit him with the jab. You're trying to contact with that jab. Once you start doing drills and get a little bit comfortable, and you see that there's no big issues that you need to work on, that's usually when it's time to start sparring. So go from the basics, get a little bit of training under your belt, and then start doing drills with a partner, controlled drills. So you want the partner to block the punch, but you also want to deliver the punch so that he has a real punch to block. You don't want to telegraph or anything, but once you start doing drills and you get real comfortable doing drills, that's when it's time to start sparring. And I always have my students spar just to the body first. So they still wear mouth guard, headgear, but not striking to the head, only body shots, not going full force, And this way they see how it is moving around in the ring with an opponent. It's a lot different than training. It's a lot different than just hitting the bag or doing any traditional boxing training. So once they start going to the body and learn to move around in the ring, learn to close gaps, learn to use angles, we start going light to the head, so light punches to the head, hard to the body. This way, worst case scenario, you take a hard body shot, someone might take a knee, get the wind knocked out of them, and not trying to break ribs. Even when you're full-on sparring, your goal is not to knock your opponent out. Your goal is to learn off your opponent and become better for yourself, become a better fighter. He wants to become a better fighter. So anytime you're in a situation where you're sparring and you feel like the guy's really trying to knock you out, that's not a good sparring partner. You want a sparring partner who, might point out, you saw how last round I caught you with a lot of jabs that round. You need to work on protecting, covering up from that jab, work on defending the jab. That's a good sparring partner, because you're working to learn off each other. So I always tell students that's when it's time to start sparring. Once you learn the basics, once you get a nice drill partner to do drills with, you throw the 1-2 at him, he throws the 1-2 at you. You work on getting comfortable having those punches thrown at you, and you work on getting comfortable defending those punches, okay? That's when it's time to start sparring. Once you moved on to drills and you've been doing drills for a couple weeks at least, that's when it's time to start sparring. And it's always good to spar with someone more experienced than you in the beginning, especially because he'll show restraint, he'll control, he'll control the ring, he'll control the movement, and he's been there before. So that's a good sparring partner to get right there. Be sure to subscribe to Pride Martial Arts. If you got any questions about sparring or drills or anything, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section, and we'll get back to you on that.